Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah and day 10 of the Halloween Craft Countdown 2022, where I'm sharing a brand new Halloween craft project every day for 20 days. We're halfway through the countdown and we're back to greetings cards. These beautiful side edge greetings cards are really easy to make. Your Cricut will cut the little shapes and then the outline of the card, and it's got a fancy edge which is repeated on the back of the card too. The best thing is you've got all this space over on the left of the card to add any other toppers or embellishments or messages or anything you want. So these cards are really versatile and will let you use your imagination and creativity on them. But if you'd rather just keep them like this, then they look beautiful as is too. The SVGs for these cards are free to download for the next 24 hours. If you're not already registered for the Halloween Craft Countdown, you can get your free ticket at craftwithsarah.com/HCC. If you are registered, then here's how to get the downloads. If you've already registered your free ticket, check for an email from me with subject line Halloween Craft Countdown ticket information, or any of the other emails from me that you have been sent throughout the countdown. Can't find them? Check your junk or spam box to see if they've gone there by mistake. These emails contain the link to view the countdown projects and download today's files. Scroll down this page to find today's project. Click the button to start the files automatically downloading to your computer or mobile device. Each download is only available for free for 24 hours after it goes live. If you've missed some, check out the Instant Access Bundle at craftwithsarah.com/HCC bundle, which gives immediate and ongoing access to all of the files and projects from the Halloween Craft Countdown. All downloads come in zip folders. You will need to unzip them before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space. After you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, it's time to get the side edge cards into Cricut Design Space. Open up Design Space and start a new project, and then go to Upload over in the left, and then Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find the file on your computer or drag and drop it in. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of the folder, and then within there, go into Cut Files, and then there are 3 different folders inside for DXF, PNG, and SVG files. For Cricut machines and Cricut Design Space, you need the files which are in the SVG files folder. So double click in there, and then here are the 5 different side edge cards, and each one starts SVG in the file name. So that's how you know this is the correct one. I'll do the which one. So let's drag and drop that in, and it should look like this once you see it on the screen. So press Upload. And then it will appear in your recent uploads. So you can click it and then press Add to Canvas. It should load in at the correct size, so just check your height is 7 inches. Your width is probably going to be a teeny tiny weeny little bit smaller than 10 inches, and that's just because of how the edges are done with that pretty side edge effect. So don't worry about that if it's not quite head on 10. As long as your height is 7, that is correct. This would be ready to cut out as it is, but I like to put a score line down the middle so that I know exactly where to fold. To do that, first click on the design and then press Ungroup over on the top. That separates out all of the layers, so now I can scroll to the very bottom and press the eye icon next to my base card to hide it. Press Select All and then Group to put all of these remaining layers in a group, and then I'm going to click the arrow next to them to just hide those layers in my layers panel, and click the eye icon to hide them from my screen. Turn the base card back on by clicking that eye, and now this is just going to be easier to work with. Now we can just see this one. Go into Shapes and choose a score line, and then we need to make it the same height as the card, which is 7 inches. Press Select All and then Align and Center. And now it's put that score line exactly in the middle of the card. So when I cut this out and it does the score, I know I'm going to be able to fold it exactly down that middle. We're not quite finished yet though, because if I was to click Make It Now, you see the Cricut's going to do my score line on a completely random piece of card, not down the middle of my actual card where I want it to go. We can fix that by pressing Select All once more, and then down the bottom of the Layers panel, press Attach. Attach is what tells the Cricut where to do that score line. So now when I press Make It, it's showing exactly where it should, right down the middle of my card. We need to turn the little pictures back on, so click the eye icon next to that group we made. I can't see them now as they're underneath my base card, so we'll go into Arrange, Bring to Front, and you don't have to do this bit, but I like to just drag them back into position. All right, this is ready to cut now, so I'll go Make It, and you can change the paper size over on the left here. You do need to do that for every colour. And then if you want to, you can drag and drop the shapes around. For example, I might move these stars in here, and then it's not going to need as much of my cardstock. Be careful when you're moving things about that you don't overlap any of the shapes, otherwise they won't cut out properly. When you're happy with how everything's looking, press Continue to connect to your Cricut machine, get everything cut out from cardstock, and then we'll see how to make these side edge cards. Here is my witch hat card all cut out, and I've just roughly laid everything in place to check I'm happy with the colours and the positioning. That's looking good, so I'm going to move the hats away for now and just keep them in order on the side. I know this is just off shot so you can't see. There we go, there's those four. For the stars, as they are perfectly in place at the moment, I am going to stick these on now, but if you prefer, you can fold the card first and then stick the stars on at the end. It's completely up to you. I'm just cheating a little bit since the hard work of positioning's already been done. Got my trusty needle tip applicator bottle. These are available on Amazon and they're amazing for card making because the nozzles on them are so small that you can get your glue into all the tiny places. The glue I'm using is called Kalal. I really like it because it doesn't bend or wrinkle the cardstock like other glues can do, and it works perfectly in these needle tip bottles. I'm just going to give that a second to dry, and then you can see I've got my score line here. Well, you might be able to see. Let's put it up to the camera. You can't really see. There we go. If I tilt it, yeah, you can almost see. So what I'm going to do is just fold it down that score line. And because we centered that in Design Space, our card folds perfectly in half and all lines up. Okay. So now we've done that, we can start sticking the hats on. Let's start at the top or bottom, doesn't really matter. For the bottom layer, I'm going to use some 3D foam squares and just turn it upside down, put a couple on there, and then stick this on. Some of the card designs that are included don't have 2 layers. For example, the skulls have only got 1, in which case you just use the foam on those, the actual skull layer itself. But these ones have got 2, the cats have got 2, and the pumpkins have got 2. So for those ones, you put the foam on the underside layers, and then we'll glue the top ones on after. It takes a little bit of fiddling around to get the right angle on these to make sure they all fit. So if you're not quite sure where each bit goes, then check the photograph that's included in the download folder of the finished card. Or you can just look at the design in your Cricut Design Space to see the order and direction of where everything should go. Yellow done, time to add the black detail on top. And these ones will be glued. I think they're all the same size, they should be, so it doesn't really matter which one you put where. The great thing about this is I can get my glue around that witch hat without going into any of the holes in the middle. And then they just go straight on top. They'll line up around the edges for that extra detail in the hat. The nice thing about these side edge cards is they do look really great on their own. You don't have to add anything else to it, but if you want to add some wording or toppers or embellishments, whatever you want, you've still got all of this space down the left-hand side where you can really customize your card and make it unique to you. My last little hat's going on there. And there we have it, side edge card 1, all finished. Now because this is quite a dark base card, what I'll probably do is cut a rectangle of white card, probably not even with my Cricut, I'll just use my paper trimmer, and stick that on the inside, and then I'll be able to write on that much easier. Another thing you could do is print out a sentiment or your message on your home printer, or even perhaps get the Cricut to draw it on a piece of white paper and then make sure it's cut to size and just glue or double-sided tape it in the inside. Let's take a look at the other cards when they're all finished too. First, we've got the witch's hat design, which is the one we've just made. Then there are the black cats, and I like this one because it uses lots of different colours to make the eyes in the cat. You've got yellow, green and red in there. It's a little bit hard to see. I don't think my camera's going to focus. There we go. Just those little eyes in there. The third one is the pumpkins down the side. There we go. And then we have the last two, which are just one layer on the pictures. So there are skulls. And then finally, these super cute little baby ghosts. So there we go, our 5 side edge cards. They all go together in pretty much the same way, and they're then all ready for your extra decorations or just to put your name and message inside and send it off for a little bit of Halloween cheer. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make these quick and easy side edge cards with a Cricut machine. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut card making tutorials. I hope to see you tomorrow for day 11 of the Halloween craft countdown. Thank you for watching. Bye!